She snatched the ID right out of my hand like it was trash and muttered, "You think this means something?" Then before I could react, she tossed it straight into the storm drain. My federal ID gone. I stood there frozen for a second, trying to process what just happened. She folded her arms, smirking like she just won some imaginary war. "You're trespassing," she snapped. "Cops are already on their way." I could feel the heat rising in my chest, but I didn't move. Not because I was scared, because I knew exactly how this was going to end, across the private lake. Her so-called $3 billion mansion gleamed in the sunlight. Perfect stonework, custom docks, even a private helipad. She wasn't just proud of it, ... She ruled this place like she built it herself. Thing is, she didn't. That land, that lake, every inch of it had a name on it, and it wasn't hers. Karen paced in front of me like she was waiting for applause. "Security's been told. You're going to jail. You hear me?" I didn't respond. I just looked down at the sewer grate, then back at her. "You really shouldn't have done that," I said quietly. She laughed. "Oh, please. You look like a gardener. What, are you going to plant flowers on your way to jail?" The sirens in the distance started growing louder. She grinned wider. But the best part, she had no idea who I was, or what I really owned. Karen stood at the edge of the driveway, arms raised like a traffic officer, guiding the 2 patrol cars like she was running the whole county. One officer stepped out, a young guy, maybe late 20s. He looked at her, then at me. She didn't even let him speak. "That's him," she barked. "Trespassing. Threatening me. No ID. He needs to be removed. Immediately." He turned to me, hesitant. "Sir, do you have identification?" I smiled. She threw it down a sewer. Karen scoffed. "Oh, please. You expect them to believe that?" I didn't answer him directly. Instead, I reached into my back pocket and pulled out a folded, worn paper. I handed it to the officer without a word. He opened it slowly, reading the first few lines. His brows shot up. He stepped back. The second officer walked over. "What's up?" The first one passed him the paper silently. The second officer's face shifted from curious to stiff. He cleared his throat and looked straight at Karen. "Ma'am, did you say this man was trespassing?" Karen folded her arms tighter. "Yes, and he refused to leave. He had no ID. He was lurking around the property line," the first officer cut her off. "Ma'am, this man is the registered federal land contractor for the state's lake restoration program." Karen blinked. "What?" "No, he's not. That's impossible. I know everyone on this lake. I've lived here 20 years. "You may live here," I said calmly, "but you don't own it." Right? Her jaw opened. No sound came out. The second officer stepped closer to her. He just threw a federal ID into a sewer and filed a false report on a government official. And just like that, the smirk vanished from her face. But I wasn't done, not even close. Karen's lips twitched like she wanted to scream but couldn't find the words. Her brain was clearly racing, trying to come up with some excuse that didn't sound completely insane. "I didn't know he was federal," she finally blurted. "He didn't show me anything. He was just standing near the dock like some creep." The first officer raised an eyebrow. "You mean the dock that's part of the state-owned conservation zone? The one marked with 5 red boundary stakes?" Karen glanced toward the shoreline. She clearly hadn't noticed the red markers, too. Busy barking orders to whoever dared walk near her lake. "Q can't be serious," she snapped. "This whole lake is HOA protected. That's what the deeds say. That's what we all pay for." I chuckled. Couldn't help it. Those deeds were voided 2 months ago when the state reclaimed all 23 acres for ecological protection. You'd know that if you'd read the public notice mailed out to every homeowner. "I never got any notice," she said, her voice sharp. "That's funny," I replied, pulling my phone out. "Because you signed for it. I've got the scanned signature right here." The officers leaned in to look. One of them gave a soft whistle. "Yep, that's her all right." Karen's face turned red. Not angry red, panned red. She knew. She was slipping, and there was no ladder in sight. You can't cancel a deed," she stammered. "This property's worth billions. That's theft." I raised an eyebrow. "You want to go there? 'Cause I can pull up the clause." Right now, Section 9B of the Reclamation Order. Any private development within 200 feet of the lake's edge, automatically flagged for legal review and removal. That includes your docks, your helipad, and your third-floor balcony that extends 6 feet over protected shoreline.
Karen.
Looked like she might pass out. You're bluffing, she whispered. I'm not, I said, tapping the screen. In fact, as of this morning, your mansion's permits are under federal cancellation. She went dead quiet. Even the cops. Didn't say a word. I slid my phone back in my pocket and added, You really shouldn't have touched my ID. She took a shaky step back, eyes darting between the officers like one of them might suddenly say, This was all a joke. But neither of them looked amused. I have lawyers, she said, her voice brittle. They'll stop this. This is harassment. You can't just walk in here, and I didn't walk in, I interrupted. I was assigned legally, after your HOA was investigated for multiple violations, including tampering with land records and harassing state workers. Her mouth opened, then closed again. The first officer pulled out his notepad. Oh, ma'am, we're going to need a statement about what happened here today. You threw a federal ID, made a false report, and interfered with state operations. Didn't know? She yelled. You didn't look like someone important. And there it was. Not an apology. Not regret. Just the truth. She judged me the second she saw me in boots and cargo pants instead of a suit. Lady, the second officer muttered, you just confessed on a body cam. She blinked. What? He tapped his chest. This thing's been rolling since we stepped out of the cruiser. I crossed my arms. And I've got my own footage. High race, time-stamped, and cloud-backed. Everything you said. Everything you did. Karen spun toward her mansion, suddenly desperate. I need to call my husband. He knows people in the state board. Didn't even flinch. You mean the same board that just froze your development account, pending environmental? Fraud investigation? Yeah. They know you. She stopped cold. Her perfect world money influence. Fake power was slipping through her fingers. It's like sand. And she finally realized, ... This wasn't just some guy standing on her dock. This was the man who just ended her empire.